Hey everybody, it's Pastor Jared here with this week's Teaching Tuesday. Every Tuesday during the lunch hour, I upload these short 10 to 15 minute videos that will hopefully give you something to chew on or think about as you go about the rest of your day, even your week. Now, I hope that you're doing well, and I hope that you are staying healthy, and I hope that as you prepare for this week's Thanksgiving on Thursday, that you have a wonderful week ahead. We have a lot of things to be thankful for, and I could have easily done a Teaching Tuesday about gratitude and Thanksgiving, but my heart is there, and yet also where I'm going to be talking to you today. I do hope that you take time this week to pause and give thanks. Like, one of the hearts of the rhythms of the Christian faith and the rhythms of weekly worshiping is to re-enter every week at the start of a new week into a disposition of gratitude. I mean, that's one of the definitions of worship, is just saying thanks, giving God our praise, our gratitude, our thanksgivings. I mean, every week we practice this reorientation of gratitude. So here we are nationally celebrating a season of Thanksgiving, and that's awesome. I'd love to hear what you're thankful for in the comment sections or just posting it on your own Facebook page. I mean, what is it this year in particular, when things have kind of been stripped away and stripped down or pared down, and what is it that you are grateful for this season? Thinking about that, but talking in the midst of all of this about a scripture passage that many of you are probably familiar with or have at least heard, most likely at weddings. It's this 1 Corinthians 13. I've been thinking a lot about a couple words in it particularly. So in the very beginning of this passage, we hear love is patient and love is kind. I mean, the list goes on. But the very first thing it says is love is patient. And then later down says that love always perseveres. Love is patient. Love always perseveres. I'm thinking about those two words this week. A week of Thanksgiving, a week of gratitude, a week of pausing and hopefully eating some good food, and either in person or virtually doing so alongside loved ones. But I'm thinking more and more about this passage and these two words, patience and persistence. I want to think about this as we turn the corner after Thanksgiving toward Advent, toward Christmas, and actually to the winter solstice, which is December 21st, the longest night and the shortest day of the year. But I'm thinking about that turn and heading into the winter months. We had some snow here today in Munster, and it'll be getting colder. It'll be getting, probably snowier. These two words, love is patient. Love always perseveres. Patience and persistence are two words that I want you and me to hold on to as we enter into the weeks, the days, the months to come. Here's what I'm thinking about in particular. So, being patient. One of the greatest lessons and one of the constant refrains throughout both Testaments, and dear ones, this is one of the many reasons why I love the Hebrew Scriptures or the Old Testament so much, because it witnesses to an incredibly patient God. Sometimes people get this misnomer, or they fall into a refrain that's often repeated too often, of the God of the Old Testament somehow being fundamentally different or fundamentally angrier than the God of the New Testament. This has been going on for a long time. In fact, there was a heresy long time ago that continues to play itself out of saying just that the God of the Old Testament is different than the God of the New. No, that's a heresy. The God of the Old Testament, the God of the Hebrew Scriptures, is not fundamentally angry. This God is fundamentally patient. When we hear God or love is long suffering, boy, that's the God of the Hebrew Scriptures, being incredibly patient and working with people who continually turn away from God, who continually turn their backs on God, people who continually break their covenant and subvert and hurt their relationship with this God who loves them radically and irrevocably so. But this God, particularly of the Hebrew Scriptures, the Old Testament and the New, is a God who's incredibly patient. I mean, think about your own life. Have there been instances when God, or you've experienced personally the patience of God? I mean, the times when you are either, well, you fill in the blank, but let's just say you weren't very close or best friends with God for a day, a moment, a season of your life. When or how have you experienced the patience of God? Now, in the letter to the Corinthians, we hear that love is patient. And in other parts of the scripture, we hear that God is love. So God is patient. And if God is patient, and if love is patient, how might you and I practice or think about ways of becoming more patient ourselves? I found a handy little kind of rubric that might be tangible enough that you and I can practice it, especially in the weeks and days to come. I mean, there's something about holidays in particular that just invites an extra dose of patience with yourself, with others, oftentimes family members, and just with the circumstances. And when I came across this kind of framework, I thought, man, I got to share this because this is too right on, especially for this year and this week. As a staff here at the church, we've been trying to think about the last couple weeks, how in the world are we going to celebrate Christmas as a church family this year? And we've had to have some patience with our own selves, and our own frustrations, because doggone it, we didn't get to have Easter together, and now we're not going to get to have Christmas Eve together. I mean, two of the greatest gatherings of our church calendar year, we're not going to do that, at least in the same ways that we have before. Sneak peek, we are going to be offering a drive-in Christmas Eve service at 8 p.m. this Christmas Eve. So you'll get more details about that in the newsletter that's coming out next week. But we have to be patient with ourselves, and we have to be patient with others, people, here in the church, but even thinking about your own circumstances this week with Thanksgiving. It's man, we have some family members who maybe don't feel comfortable eating with each other. For example, my family, we're going to be staying at home this year and just having dinner with my wife, me, and our kids. We're not going to be traveling. And I know family members have had to be patient with us because we haven't seen them in forever and they just want to be with us and vice versa. And yeah, we got to be patient with others. And then, of course, that invites a whole other line of patience of whether or not we agree or disagree on certain best practices of this season that we find ourselves in. Love is patient. Be patient with ourselves, with others. And then, of course, being patient with the circumstances. One of the benefits, that's not the word, one of the blessings, perhaps, of the times that we're in is it's re-inviting us to be patient and to lean into that virtue of God, to practice love by being more patient with ourselves, with others, and with our circumstances. Okay, the second one is love always perseveres. And I was thinking about this in the context of persistence. So I was listening to a financial podcast the other day. I like personal family finances. I started out college as a finance major and a religion major. I eventually dropped the finance and just went all in on Bible, religion, the Christian faith. But I still have this interest and kind of hobby of personal family finances. And one of the lessons that continues to pop up in these financial webinars and podcasts and lessons is the importance and this continual reminder, especially the younger you are, but it's never too late, but the younger you are, the more you'll benefit from persistently contributing to a retirement fund, to your savings account. One of the things that all of these gurus continue to talk about is if you're a person who likes to get a Starbucks coffee drink every day or who goes out to lunch with coworkers every week, the amount of money you can save if you start making your own coffee or bringing your own lunch doing those as just special treats, but instead reinvesting those little daily dollars over the course of time persistently will snowball or add up into a huge amount or an exponential amount over the years. Another way that this lesson is taught is through a person like Dave Ramsey's Financial Peace course. He talks about the debt snowball of listing out all of your non-mortgage debts, like credit cards, school loans, car loans, and listing them out from the smallest balance to the highest balance. Then you throw all the money you can at the lowest balance. Once that's paid off, you take that monthly amount, add it to your second one, and it keeps going. So like if you're paying $10 a month on a credit card here, you get that paid off. You add that $10 to the other 10, and it keeps going to the point where you're paying, $500, $1,000 a month toward your last debt, eventually getting it all paid off. Either way, it's a lesson on persistence, of continuing the discipline of giving or of contributing to your debt elimination or your retirement contributions so that one day you'll be debt-free and being able to live with financial independence. Okay, that's just a touch point, but the lesson of both of these words is an important one for us as we enter deeper into the winter months of how can we be patient with ourselves, with others, with our circumstances, and be persistent in continuing to do those daily disciplines that will eventually get us to where we want to be, or at least help sustain us while we are in the midst of it all. So this is another lesson that people who exercise and work out and are really healthy tell me. This is not me. But there are days that they say that they also don't feel like working out or who don't want to work out, but they've gotten in the discipline or the habit of that's just what they do. And afterwards, they're always glad that they did it. Here's my takeaway or my challenge is how can we be more patient or practice being patient with ourselves, with others, and our circumstances? And how might you be more persistent in the disciplines of scripture reading, of prayer, of reaching out to someone else? That is what I want you to be prayerfully wrestling with as you go about your day. You can practice patience, especially on Thanksgiving and the days to come. But how will you be intentional to do a persistent discipline with your soul? Of reading a small passage of scripture a day, of saying a prayer, engaging in a new kind of prayer, or of intentionally reaching out to somebody else. Because the spiritual life isn't just about me and Jesus. It's always about loving God and loving others, right? That's never just a personal religion. So, to help you out, we are going to be sending out or delivering Advent devotionals that hopefully will be at your door no later than Sunday afternoon. We're trying to get some people to help deliver. So if you're interested, let us know. We're going to try to do some of that tomorrow, maybe Friday, Saturday. But we want you to be practicing the persistent discipline of engaging your spiritual life, engaging God, tapping into your spirit through a daily discipline like these Advent devotionals. Our challenge is to be patient and persistent in the weeks, the months, the winter to come. So, I look forward to delivering those and hopefully you getting them and engaging in those with you. And I pray for you as you go about your day and as you go about your week. I pray that you will have more patience. I pray that the muscle of patience has not atrophied in your life, but instead is getting the exercise it needs to become stronger by practicing patience with yourself, with others, and with the circumstances. And then I want to challenge us to be persistent in our daily disciplines of tapping into those simple practices, prayer, scripture reading, looking out for others, that will feed, sustain, and get our souls back into shape. So, all right, that's my Teaching Tuesday for today. I've got a meeting I got to get to, and I hope they have a great day. I hope that you're blessed. I hope even more than that, I hope that you're a blessing to someone else, because God's people are always, 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 always called, are always blessed to be a blessing in this world. So may that be the case for us, for you, for me, as we continue our weeks. All right, take care. Have a good day. Stay warm, and I'll see you next week. God bless.